Hello, this is John of Brainstorm Comics and Gaming. This is the comic portfolio for those of you who have not been watching. If this is your first episode, initially we gave each other a $500 budget. It was supposed to start off as fantasy investing, and somehow it became real comic book investing. So we are really putting our money where our mouth is on these. We are not recommending anybody buy these books. However, we're just doing this for fun and kind of entertainment and a slight competition between you and me. This is Tim, by the way. You've been collecting comics for how long again?
What is it now? 7 years? 7 going on 8 years? Yeah, give or take.
And I've been collecting since 1992, so this is my 30th year. Me and Image Comics celebrating together. So I did not collect.
Are those two related?
No.
Oh, okay.
Death of Superman was my first comic. Well, I had bought a couple here and there before then, but that was really the beginning of mine.
That pulled you in.
Yeah. All right. So each week after the first one, or every other week, I should say, we get $200 more to invest in more comics, or we can use it to clean and press our books, grade our books. Neither one of us has used that option as of yet.
It's not as fun.
It's better to accumulate than
That's
it is.
right. We'll get to it eventually.
Yes. I will let you start. Do you want to start with buying tips, or do you want to start with...
I'll start with my first tip. And because I know you always like when I bring a goodie in to show for each episode. So my first tip is, you have like Key Collector and all these ones telling you all these like minor characters and things, hot comics to get. And I think we've kind of, not to belabor it, but we've kind of talked about before, read the books, find the characters that you find interesting. Like I collect what I enjoy because I like the characters, and if they have staying power with me, then that means they probably will respond with other people too. The other thing is, I would say, is cover art. I think a lot more people have been drawn into collecting comics for
especially
the cover
with CGC, because that's all you get to see.
That's all you get to see. So, but there's a lot of really great old covers. So it doesn't have to be a key book, quote unquote, because of a first appearance, for it to be a great cover art piece or an important book because of the cover art as well.
Detective 880.
Right. Was that the jock cover? What is the other one? So, I mean, there's so many. Return of the Dark Knight Returns.
A bunch of the 1940s books for pre-code horror.
Pre-code horror, right. And then there's just so many great covers within a run. So if you have characters that you really enjoy, try and track down also just some of their great classic covers. And so, I love my 40s books, and so my adventure books. So this one is a classic Kirby and Joe Simon cover, which is Adventure Comics number 73.
Who's this Kirby guy?
The Kirby. And so it's a classic Manhunter cover. Little trickier to find. But we've kind of talked about this as well, is that there's something about some of the earlier books where the simplicity of the covers and the bold colors also make them stand out.
Yes.
And while this one's a bit pricier, there are plenty of others that can be had at, within a few $100s or whatnot of great cover art.
Well, the 3D effect on that one looks really nice. Like the him coming over top of the masthead and everything on that one. So.
Right. And you got the deep green with offset with the bright red, and so that would be my advice. Is there's and I forget who wrote it. I'm blanking at the moment, but it's the comic photo library guide and it's mainly silver, golden age books. Like get a copy of that and just go through and learn covers.
Yeah, because
there's plenty. While people are chasing key books, or there are certain covers that people pay extremely high amounts for, I think there's still plenty of great covers out there to be found.
You can also go to mycomicshop.com and just search by years and stuff and look at covers that way.
That's true.
Just click on a random title. Like, let's look at this one and see what kind of covers they had at this point.
Yeah. So, and I think it's one of those things where, just like anything, like the more you see, the more you start to see what is common, what is what the same kind of style that's frequently seen. So then suddenly those covers that are really that stand out to you, you realize it's probably for a reason. It's because there's something unique about them or something that captures your attention.
I wish they would go back to the old coloring process. I feel like it was so much better than today's.
It is. I think so. And so much of I was thinking about on the drive over, like, what about today's covers? It's not that I dislike today's covers, but I think because so much of it, I guess, is now computer done, which means you can get really clean lines and really fine detail and fine coloring, and they become very busy.
Takes away the heart also. Of the...
Yeah, this is really simple, not necessarily perfectly crisp lines. They had to keep it simple because there's only so much complexity they can put on the cover to print it and color it.
Yes.
Unless it's Alex Schomburg, in which case his covers are just crazy. But there's something I like about that, the simplicity of it. And so
you mentioned Key Collector. I want to also throw out like a caveat or at least a warning about that one is they have to produce content, and sometimes they say something is a key book or whatever that probably is not really a key book in the truest sense of the word.
Right. Or it's a flash in the pan
key book. So be careful, like the advice that you take from Key Collector. Again, they have content that they're trying to sell. I mean, obviously they have a product they're trying to sell. They want you to pay for the monthly subscription and everything. So I'm not bashing them. I know a lot of people use them.
It can be a useful tool.
Yes.
Just, I guess, get your knowledge of the books that they're telling you are keys outside of just what's said there. Read the book, understand the storyline. And see if
make a determination on your own
right.
with the data you know and what you know about the industry and everything. For my tip of the week, and I had talked to you about what it was going to be. If you see a book that you want on eBay, don't feel the need to immediately go, oh no, I need to have this right now. If you're patient and you can do one of two things. You can put it on your watch list or put it in your cart and let it sit there for, 24 to 48 hours. Unless, like you and I talked about this, unless it's a really hot book and it's already a good price or whatever. And
yeah, if you already know the market and it's one you've already been hunting and you fully understand, and that's like, don't
play games.
Don't lose it with a best offer.
Yes.
Like if it's already a good price, just get it, because I have lost books from that before, and I don't do that anymore.
So if you put it on your watch list or in your cart, the seller gets an email like, hey, you have X amount of watchers, or somebody has this in their cart. You can finish this deal by lowering the price by as little as 10% or something like that. I get the emails myself. I'm not gonna lie to you. I ignore them, but there are a lot of because I have so much stuff up there, and I figure it'll sell sooner or later. I don't worry with any of that. But there are sellers out there who need to move their product as quickly as possible. So if it's sat there for 48 hours to a week, a lot of them are willing to do that 10% off or whatever, and so they'll cut the price. And especially the ones that don't have or best offer on it, those are the ones I would more do this with. If they already have best offer on there, I would just make a best offer that I have. But the ones that don't have it, I would put in my cart or, like I said, put on my watch list and see whether they come back with an offer for me.
Right. And then kind of going back to one of our prior tips as well, look at who the seller is. Oftentimes it's a seller that has a storefront outside of eBay. And so, just go over to their website and it's already probably 10, 15% cheaper as a result.
Yeah, because the eBay fees add up.
Yeah. So, and I would don't try to get around the eBay fees. Like you don't want to get the seller or yourself banned from eBay because, it's on the platform. So follow the platform. But if they have a storefront outside of eBay, that's different. Don't just try and work around through eBay though. Yeah. They'll catch you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
I've ignored people that tried to do that with me. Like, I like having my eBay store. So.
So, yeah.
All right. So those were our 2 tips for the week. Let's move into our purchases. I'll let you go first, sir.
Okay. So mine are, unfortunately, I could not find my one copy, but my first one is going to be Tales of the Green Lantern Corps #2.
You love your Green Lantern.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. We were chatting about this. Like I love The Darkest Night. Graphic novel with the Black Lantern Corps and all, and that just kind of segue also.
And you yelled at me because I said I refused to read it.
Yes,
about Hal Jordan.
I did thoroughly through the car speaker. But it's the first appearance of Necron, who is, of course, the head of the Black Lantern Corps. He's a pretty cool villain. He doesn't. again, he's like Anti-Monitor. It's one of those villains that is so powerful, like they can only pop up on occasion.
Yes.
But when they do, they're pretty epic. And it would not surprise me one day if they finally try to implement the Darkest Night,
especially for the Green Lantern show coming up.
For the Green Lantern show. So, yeah, and again, it's a story I love. It's a character I enjoy, so that's also why I bought it. So I picked up a 9.8 with shipping $130.
And modern collectors are probably going to be most knowledgeable about him because of the Darkest Night thing, like you were talking.
Right,
or Blackest Night, I mean, sorry.
Or Blackest Night, sorry. I keep saying Darkest Night. Blackest Night, I think it's about 1980, about 1980 when the book came out. I can't remember exactly. But it was a 3-part. Yeah, I think it was just one of 3. So it's a good book. Low risk, good character, high reward. Unfortunately, he's not on the cover, so that's the other downside. I want
to make it clear that I know Blackest Night is a good storyline. I just really hate Hal Jordan.
Blackest Night's so good, though.
That's fine.
So good.
It's fine.
Jeff Johns, man. All right, so we have obviously Black Adam coming up soon. That is on the cover.
Rock.
The Rock, which I'm excited for. I think the whole Shazam part of the DC EU can really, I guess, kind of help revamp things.
So it'll be interesting whether he brings up the DC movies or whether they bring him down.
It's The Rock. He's an entertainer. I think it'll be. But you're gonna have Hawkman. You're gonna have some great. We're gonna be able to segue into more of the seeing on the big screen the the JSA characters and some of the early characters. So, but an important character for, I don't know if it'll make in the movie, but an important Black Adam character is obviously his wife, Isis. So I just picked up a copy of Isis #1. It's 1976. I paid, with shipping, $32. You may be able to even find it cheaper.
There's been a lot of movement on her 52 series, on her appearance in the 52 series also.
Right, because that's her first modern appearance. But her actual first appearance is, which I have a copy of, but I did not have for this, which is Shazam #25. So I would also recommend picking up. I picked one up years ago. Picking up a copy of that. It's an interesting character, maybe an important character at some point within the movies, but you know, she's an important part of Black Adam. So if in terms of a character that you may see some movement on the books, low risk, high reward, that would be one. They're both 70s books as well, so not exactly common to come across in higher grade. Especially for a series like this and the Shazam series that probably went into a lot of dollar bins, honestly. And so, yeah, so that's my Isis #1. The other one is a character I always liked, and it's a tough book, and it's the first appearance of Lady Shiva. It's Richard Dragon Kung Fu Fighter #5. So I actually picked this up in a lot. It was all 5 or 6 books of the series with a conversion from Canadian to $43.70. You know, this is Cassandra Cain's mother.
Okay.
With David Cain to have Cassandra, but she's also considered oftentimes the top martial artist in the DC universe. It's also one of those bright red covers that gets a lot of, from the ones I found, it shows ticks very well.
Finger marks, fingerprints.
And it also fades very easily. And so getting a higher grade bright red cover is tough. And she's an interesting character. Again, it wouldn't surprise me. I like her just in general, and it's just a tough book. And it's one of those books where, if for some reason a movie were to come out with her and she becomes a bigger part of the broader universe that people start to appreciate her, it's one of those books where, when everybody starts looking for it, it's going to be really hard to find, because it's hard enough to find in higher grade as it is. So I don't know if you can take a look and see. Probably needs a press, but it's a
very nice looking copy. Yeah, I don't see too much wrong with this here.
So it's got a slight blunting at the top, but I think honestly a press and all may push some of that out. And
it's a very nice copy.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a tricky book to find. So those are my picks for the week. So that puts me at, I think I'm No, I had like $11 from last time, so I think I have like $5 left.
Sounds good. I'm just picking up about the DC movies. They make me so sad sometimes, though.
I know you want them to be good. I liked Shazam. Did you see Shazam?
I like Shazam. I think they should try and mimic that kind of feel to their movies more than Zack Snyder. Get him the hell away from all that stuff.
Yeah, I agree. I thought it was fun, and so that's why I would love for that, because they could do a lot with that part of the universe and then bring everything else kind of back into it.
I have no problem with Batman being dark, but like,
yeah,
everybody else should be happier.
yeah, I agree. So it'll be fun to see how it comes out.
Sounds good. Some good pickups there, Tim. All right, so my picks. Number 1, I started off with X-Force number 3. It's the first time Rob Liefeld drew a foot. I spent
Or failed.
I spent $175 on a 2.0 copy. It's very rare. No, sorry, late April Fool's joke on that one. I know you got a kick out of that one. Anytime you can take a shot at Rob Liefeld.
Yeah, go for it.
No, seriously though, Batman 313, first Tim Fox was my first purchase. Spent $150 on it. It was probably an 8.0 copy, 8.5 copy. After a pressing, I hope we can get it up to at least a 9.0. But if you've been watching the YouTube videos for the store, we just did a review of the next Batman, and this goes into even like what we were talking about, like buying tips and stuff, and the reading thing. I picked up John Ridley's Black Panther, and I really enjoyed it. I loved how much he kind of put into a single issue without making it feel like cramped or anything like that. So I was like, you know what? I like this a lot. Let me go back and try the next Batman. You know, if he did such a good job with this one. With Future State, I was very wary about trying it just because it was a Dan Didio thing, and I don't know. I also made it sound like it wasn't important to the DCU when it was first coming out. They were like, we're taking like two months to...
Almost like it was an Elseworlds type thing.
Yeah. And then it ended up being very important to what they did afterwards. And
yep.
So I tried it. I liked it. I think that the character has a lot of potential. It's definitely a different take on like the Batman mythos. I feel like now, I even showed you, there's a lot of people now talking about it. And the bad thing is, like, it just took us so long to do this video. Like, I actually purchased these, like, 6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Yeah.
Which is probably why I got it for $150, because I think the prices have already gone up, like, another, like, $50 on that one, even for...
That's pretty good, then.
Yeah, like I said, it would have been better if I could have gotten the video done. But... the next one I did was Batman 308, which is the first Tiffany Fox. So she, in the storyline, becomes like a Robin type character. I hope she becomes like a Batgirl type character. I think it would be better to have the two of them on kind of equal footing as opposed to, or a Batwoman character, instead of like having her being like his subordinate. But she is like much younger than him. I think she's like 10 to 15 years younger than him in the story. So, and that one was a Whitman variant, and I got that one for $20. And we know that the Whitman variants are harder to come by, especially in like higher grade. So, those were my two purchases for $170. I had -20 left over from the last episode, so now I have $10 ahead. I am in the black.
There you go.
Yeah,
moving on up.
Yeah. So those were my two picks.
I think those are good.
Yeah, I think the Foxes have a lot of mileage in them for where this can go. So
yeah,
if you haven't watched it yet, definitely check out the review video that me and Tamba did. We had a lot of fun with it. Any closing remarks there, sir?
No, I think those are good. Those are great picks. Again, understanding the storyline and foreseeing characters that will probably become more important as time moves on.
Yeah, like I said, I feel like people were probably a lot like me. Like they've tried the Black Panther one, or they've heard such good things about the Black Panther one that they're like, let me try the Batman one.
Well, I think that's a good tip then, right? Find a writer you like, and don't focus just on, say, like their DCU books or their Marvel books, or just because a lot will then write for Image or for Dark Horse and all. Like follow around, and you'll find some really great stories. So
going back to the Jeff Johns thing, I mean, he started off co-writing with JSA. What was it, Goyers that he was co-writing with?
I don't remember.
I think it was Goyers. But then he moved over to Stars and Stripe, which was a really excellent series.
Yep.
And like I said, I had already started with JSA with him, so like it kind of all fed in, and
Yeah.
so maybe it was the other way around. Maybe Stars and Stripe came first. I can't remember. I want to say JSA did come first.
We'll have to check on that.
Yeah.
I can't remember if Stars and Stripe came first.
Because I know she was a part of JSA, but I thought she was added a little bit later into the...
No, so then I think Stars and Stripe came first.
Okay.
Because then she's on the cover of JSA #1.
Is she? Okay, I couldn't remember.
So then he brought her into the JSA.
Yeah, I was reading all of his stuff, though. I loved Jeff Johns from the very beginning up until he brought Hal Jordan and Barry Allen back.
And on that note...
So, thank you for watching this episode. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Let us know who you think is winning so far. We haven't asked that yet in terms of the investments.
Well, mine are all DC books, so we know that they're just, for the most part... a couple years out.
So thank you for watching, and have a good day.